So I want to do a few videos out of this book here called Great by Choice by Jim Collins. You probably recognize the name from several other books. He did Built to Last, he did Good to Great, and there was a third book, I can't think of the name of it right now. But anyway, Great by Choice is an awesome book. It takes a really cool analogy of these explorers. I kind of set up the tone of what the book talks about here. He said in October, he says in October 1911, two teams of adventurers made their final preparations in their quest to be the first people in modern history to reach the South Pole. So these two different teams, they actually hiked to the South Pole in 1911. And so they talk for members of this, so he talks about how that for one team, it would be a race to victory and safe return home. For members of the second team, it would be devastating defeat, reaching the pole only to find the wind-whipped flags of their rivals planted 34 days earlier. Followed by a race for their lives, a race that they lost in the end as the advancing winter swallowed them all. All 5 members of the second pole team perished, staggering from exhaustion, suffering the dead black pain of frostbite, and then freezing to death. As some wrote their final journal entries and notes to loved ones back home. And it's interesting, you know, the leadership, one team, a guy was 39 years old, the other one was 43 as far as who led the team. They had the access to the exact same resources, the exact same trail that they followed, the exact same time in history, access to the same technology, same everything. Yet one team makes it safely there and back, and one team doesn't make it at all. I mean, massive differentials. And so what Jim does brilliantly is he sets up rationale behind what made one team successful over the other one, and then he overlays that to several companies that he studies, like Southwest Airlines, in relation to what they did in their industry and how they outpaced their competition too. So one of the first areas he talks about, which is really one of my favorites in the book, I wanted to talk about for a minute today, is called the 20-mile march. He said, imagine you're standing with your feet at the Pacific Ocean. Kind of funny, he says that I was actually standing here on Lake Michigan, and actually today is kind of a clear day. I know you probably can't see in the video, but you can see Chicago just across the way. So imagine you're standing with your feet in the Pacific Ocean in San Diego, California, looking inland. You're about to embark on a 3,000-mile walk from San Diego to the tip of Maine. On the first day, you march 20 miles, making it out of town. On the second day, you march 20 miles. And again on the third day, you march 20 miles. Heading into the heat of the desert, it's hot, more than 100 degrees, and you want to rest in the cool of your tent. But you don't. You get up and you go 20 miles. You keep your pace going 20 miles a day. And what the 20-mile marches really talk about is, it's not necessarily what you might expect it to be, but he says the 20-mile march is more than a philosophy. It's about having concrete, clear, intelligent, and rigorously pursued performance mechanisms that keep you on track. The 20-mile creates two types of self-imposed discomfort. One is the discomfort of unwavering commitment to high performance in difficult conditions. And two, the discomfort of holding back in good conditions. See, the two different teams that went to the South Pole, the one team that made it there and back, they went 20 miles a day. If they had a huge storm and the weather sucked and they were freezing, they went on 20 miles. If the weather was super clear and nice like today, and they say, you know what, we could probably make up some time, let's go 40 miles a day. Nope, they just did 20 miles. They stick to 20 miles. Now the other team, well, when the weather was nice, they went 40 miles or 50 miles. And when the weather was crappy, well, they hunkered down for a day or 2 days or 3 days. But that rationale didn't work. You find what you need to find out in your business is what metrics is your 20-mile march. Usually it's around, you know, every department, but each department should have its 20-mile march. In relation to sales or marketing and sales, it's probably, you know, how many outbound calls have to be made, or how many follow-ups to leads have to be made, and how many appointments have to be made, you know, and then also your close ratio on those, and that's your 20-mile march. And if you know what that number is, that's the number you hit every day, every week. You don't let anything get in your way, regardless of what it is, regardless of the conditions. You stick to your 20-mile march. Same in the marketing. How many outbound leads you're generating, or I know whatever resources you're utilizing, set the metrics. So I challenge you today, number one, to get the book. Number two, set a goal for your 20-mile march, line it up for your business, and start tracking your progress.